Hey, so we're still in October, which means we're still in. I'm just gonna do this just to make it easier. Oh, and for you guys to see my make. We're still in Mental Health Awareness Month, and mental health is one of those things that I always end up gravitating towards because um, it is everywhere. You know, when we talk about stress, when we talk about anxiety, when we talk about tiredness, when we talk about so many things, it's all about mental health. And I even add mindset to it. You know, like when we talk about achieving or not achieving something, it is highly related to how our mind is working and how we are seeing these challenges. But there's one area where a lot of people don't talk about, which is mental health and worthiness from a position of what's going on. And I see this a lot with my clients, and I have seen it in myself even. Whenever I struggle, the biggest thing is always don't ask for space. Don't take space. Get smaller, shrink. Don't talk. Don't demand too much. Don't ask for. Don't ask the end, you know. And I think that for many of us, particularly for women, but it might be true for some men too, taking space feels really scary because we have been told so much that we are not we're not worthy of space, we're not worthy of connection and attention, and people paying us attention, but also nurturing us, you know, meeting our needs lovingly and abundantly. So whether we are taking space because we're sick, like physically sick, or we're taking space because we are mentally sick or we are struggling, we get very, very triggered. And this is a battle that I have had in many different ways. Like I have struggled with taking space from a position of fatness. Whenever I gain weight, I felt that I was taking too much space in the world physically. But also have struggled taking space about my struggles, about my pain, about where I am and my needs. I remember back in the day when I was dating, like before I got married and had children and all that, thinking that I needed to be meek, you know, I needed to be small and take little space and don't ask for more, and don't text too much, don't text too less, don't show too much interest. And it is all these codes that are actually becoming very toxic for men and women in the dating world, when we are telling ourselves that showing up fully, it's suddenly too much, that we are not to be ourselves. For some of us, that pops into the physical side, you know, like having or taking more physical space in the world because we are fat feels like you're not doing enough of a good job. But maybe for others it's about emotional space, you know, like can I show up fully with my brokenness? I remember someone asked me a few days ago, how was I doing? I was doing shit, and I actually said I'm doing shit. I'm really doing shit. Like, it's my dad's death anniversary on tomorrow, and I'm doing shit, you know. And having those conversations sometimes is really uncomfortable, and I normally tend to ask for consent before I dump something deep, but that time I didn't. But sometimes you are met with and sometimes you're met with someone that is like, oh yeah, that sounds really tough, I'm here for you. So when we talk about taking space and we talk about why taking space is so important, is basically when you say showing up in my full humanity is safe. I make it safe. I make it safe for me to show up and tell you my reality, owning that it is my reality, that it doesn't have to be your reality, but also owning that my needs are valid, that I, in all that I am, in my in my struggles, in my laughter, in my pain, in my beauty, in my everything, I make sense in the world, that I am um, worthy of being witnessed in my full reality, right? So that's really, really interesting because it's something that many times when we talk about mental health, we don't talk about, we don't discuss it. We talk about the dark side, we talk about the illnesses and the diagnosis and the ways in which many of us are struggling with it. And I do not wish to minimize that. But many of us are also struggling mentally because we keep choosing ourselves, we keep choosing our needs, we keep reminding ourselves that we're taking too much space, whether physically, mentally, or emotionally. So we hide. We hide from our friends. We hide from our partners, from our romantic partners. We hide from our co-workers. We hide from the world. And then what happens is that one day we cannot hide anymore. And then we either hide forever and we take our own lives, or we break down and we have no idea how did we got there. And this is, to me, the sad part is that, and I want to be very honest, I have done it. I remember the first day of my son's Matthew's life, Anyone that saw me would say, oh, she's such a good mom, she's really happy. And I was crumbling inside. I was so full of shame. I was so full of fear and pain and sadness. I was so sad. And when I see the photos, I can see it. I'm pretty sure that Matthew's dad could see it too. Maybe my mom. But most people just saw a happy family. Everything was perfect. But I was on the inside, right? And we don't share those things. So I'm not saying share with everyone, because that is not gonna be vulnerable and that's not gonna be real. That's actually gonna put you at risk. But I'm gonna say question that voice that tells you that you're too much. Question the voice that tells you not to share with maybe your best friend that you have gained weight and that you don't know how to feel about it, or that you have lost weight and you don't know how to feel about it, or that you are struggling with homeschooling, or you're struggling with life or dating or whatever. Can I take space? And I always tell my clients that consent is beautiful, and I use consent for everything. Like I ask for consent on every occasion, even to kiss my kids. I'm like, can I kiss you, or can mommy have a kiss right now, right? But if you come to someone and you say something like, hey, I'm having a little bit of a hard time, and I really wish to talk to you about it. Are you available for me right now? And maybe the person is not gonna be available for you right then. But maybe the person is gonna be able to say something like, hey, I'm not available right now, but could we talk about it in 1 hour, half an hour, or whatever? Or maybe they're gonna say, yeah, yes, I'm here for you, tell me. And then you start a beautiful conversation where you say, I'm struggling with. And you take space. And to be able to take space in others' life, you're gonna have to start taking space in your life, and that's the invitation always. The invitation is not outward, it's always inward. So if you are struggling to take space in your friend's life, or in your partner's life, or in your mother's life, or in whomever's life, how are you denying yourself the space? Are you maybe denying you the food that you need, the nourishment that you need, the rest that you need, the whatever it is that you need, because you're scared of being too much? And if that's the case, too much to whom? What are the areas that you are telling yourself that you're too much? And I can tell you, I have been categorized and labeled as too much since I was really tiny. I used to be called that I spoke so much that I was like a broken radio. That was one of the first memories that I have, is my family telling me that. And it was never out of spite. It was mostly out of funny. Latinos were so funny. But it did break me a lot. I for many years I was so scared of taking space that I would withhold, and then suddenly the moment that someone gave me this, I will go bleh, because I was holding so much. So the invitation is, where are you not taking space for you? Like I realize that I don't take space emotionally for myself. So whenever a big emotion pops by, I used to block it with busyness, or with exercising, or with something else, so that I didn't have to feel it, because I didn't have space, I didn't have time, I couldn't be too much. And so the journey has been softening edges, softening those edges, and saying, can I take a little bit of space right now to myself? Can I just come here and witness the mess that it is life, because life is messy, and just take space for me, for my mind, for my body, for my emotions. Because when we don't do that, the problem is that it just stays in there, and then it goes bang. And you deserve better. We all do. You deserve taking as much space as you need to and want to, because you are wonderful and deserving of love, connection, attention, witnessing, and validation. You make sense. You always make sense. We all do. So as we continue talking about mental health, and as we continue talking about how to take care of ourselves, and our worthiness, and self-love, and self-care, and all these beautiful things that normally involve spending money on masks and Botox and all their shit, I will say, why don't you start by investing some time and energy in giving yourself some space, taking more. And there's a mantra that my mentor gave me, and I've been saying it to everyone, and all the time I've been like revisiting it, and it's like, I need more love, no less. So how about you say to yourself when you're struggling, I need more love, no less? And then how would that look like right now? And that might look like taking space. Maybe with yourself, maybe with a notebook, start journaling. Or maybe that will be taking space with your best friend and saying, hey, can you come over, because I really need to talk to you about something. I don't know. You know better. You're an expert on you. I'm just an expert on tools to help you. That's it. So yeah, I hope this helped you. I hope this inspires many of you to start really hard conversations that are going to bring you some opening, some authenticity and some love, because you deserve it. And if you need more, if you want more tools, remember to go to my website and book yourself a 30-minute session. Let's see where I can witness some of your beauty and support you into getting to the next level, whether that is a little bit more happiness or whether it is your biggest, wildest, and more crazy dream that we can make a reality together. I hope you have a beautiful day.